Professor Dr. Adeogun Joseph Kayode, who obtained graduate certificate in entrepreneurship and leadership from Caribbean Business School, and recently bagged Masters in Business Administration, MBA, from Academic Europe Open University, and professional diploma in international marketing from same university. He is the CEO of Joba Consult. Joba Consult is a creative digital marketing platform fully equipped with experienced experts and creative ideas to assist organizations to build strong brand presence and drive traffic on social media through tripartite approach of content development, which focus on branding, image building, proposal draft to client, and profile development and top of the mind awareness online and offline. Professor Adeogun Joseph Kayode is certified by Google and Marketing Institute as a content creator, digital and affiliated marketer. As a certified public speaker, he was featured in conferences, workshops, summits, and seminars, locally and internationally, online and offline. As a certified seasoned public speaker, we obtained International General Certificate in Communication from DIG Academic and bagged Professional Certificate in Advanced Communication Skills, Professional Certificate in Effective Presentation Skills, Professional Certificate in Coaching and Mentoring, and Professional Certificate in Human Resources Management from Academic Europe Open University, respectively. Finally, Professor Adeogun Joseph, the lead facilitator at Adeogun Kayode Writing Academy, AKWA. AKWA is set up with an objective to advance the professional journey of content professionals by upskilling them with key skills to become sought-after content creators and also empower them to reach their full professional potential. If I want to go all along, because we say I have so many slides here, but because of time, I won't be able to do that. But I believe that with the little I have shared with you, you know exactly who Professor Adeogun Joseph Kayode is. In recognition of his writing, poetry, leadership qualities, entrepreneurial skills, and service to humanity, he has received so many awards, accolades, honorary doctorate degree from various organizations and institutions, respectively. Some of the awards and honorary doctoral degree include Humanitarian and a Leadership Award by International Summit of Leaders, Social Media Influence by Y.Y.C.I Media Consult, International Outstanding Leadership Award by Caribbean Business School, Most Passionate Entrepreneur of the Year of 2020 by Phenomenal Entrepreneur Network, Honorary Doctor of Philosophy by Institute, and Honorary Doctor by the Jordanian Arab Academy for Peace and Human Rights, among others. And also we are pleased to say that he's also the Yes You Can International Ambassador. So thank you so much for joining us today, and the floor is yours. You are welcome.
Thank you, my dear Queen Elizabeth Afolalu. It's a pleasure to be on this platform at this period and at this moment. So I want to use this opportunity to appreciate you for the giant strides you have accomplished. using a Yes You Can International, Yes You Can Academy. Thank you very much. I hold you in high esteem, as you are aware. I also want to appreciate all the speakers, starting from Monday, that we kickstart this program. I watched each of these presentation by speakers from different countries on Facebook Live. Yes, you can international. So I'm here on Zoom, on the hot seat, so to speak. So I want to appreciate the first two speakers before me, Professor MC Ruben Gershie, Ambassador Samantha Gohosh. I've listened to your presentation and you have indeed made insightful presentations and recommendations on the topic of the masterclass on how to build relationships. So I want to say kudos to you for a job well done. Professor Ruben has indeed helped us to see that building intercultural relationship is indeed important, and also learning about the workplace and business expectation of relevant countries and the marketplace is also important. So as you have rightly heard, my presentation will focus on how to build positive relationship at work. And I'm going to make this presentation in my capacity as a certified leadership coach, life coach, and also as a professor of leadership and management. So I'm going to be sharing my experience on how leaders can build a quality, positive relationship, thereby helping their subordinates to have an ownership mindset or creating an ownership mindset in the minds of their subordinates. So briefly, I'm going to look at, as a leader, you will no doubt agree with me that it is your responsibility to make sure that your team enjoy working with you. And building a strong team from experience, and as you will agree with me, takes time and dedication. And it is inarguably an established fact that when employees are happy, they are more productive, they are more creative, and they will be more effective. So in essence, positive team relationships are very crucial in building a lasting relationship that will stand the test of time. I recall that Professor Ruben, in his presentation, identified the global mindset component that is expected of every individual, especially leaders. You recall that Professor mentioned that intellectual capital is important as a leader, as an individual. You need to have a psychological capital, and you also need to have a social capital. So as a leader, you need to make your employee create an ownership mindset. And this you can do by giving them the free hand to operate, or to practice what they have learned from you over time. So in this masterclass, we are going to be discussing a few strategies that that can help you to create a meaningful and positive team relationship. Building a solid relationship, you will agree with me that it's not something that happened overnight. I mentioned that it requires a dedication on your home part, and it takes time, it takes trust, and it also takes a lot of conscious efforts on your part. So when you are dealing with people, it is always advisable when you are dealing with people, your employees, your subordinates in this context, that you should always remember that you are dealing with creators of logic. All right? Not creators of logic, but creators of emotions. So understand the fact that they have emotions, just like you have an emotion. So in relating with them, if you want to gain their trust, if you want them to give their best to you, you need to relate with them with an understanding. But do you know the good news? Yes, it takes time, it takes effort to build quality relationship amongst your team. But the good news is that it has already been proven that improvement can make a ton of difference. So I'm going to be looking at some strategies that can help you to build a lasting relationship amongst your team. The first one is don't focus on socializing. For example, there's nothing wrong when you have a get together with your team, there's nothing wrong. So socializing at parties, for example, there's nothing wrong. Socializing during breaks is great, but it is not enough when it comes to building positive, quality, or meaningful team relationships. So instead of focusing on occasional socialization, I advise that you take interest in your team member and make sure that they feel heard. For example, if they have complaints as regards the nature of their job, if they are not comfortable, are you always available to listen to your team when they have complaints? Or you cover up your lapses, your mistakes by inviting them to a party, or you invite them to a lunch just to cover up your lapses or your mistakes. You need to make them feel heard, make them feel important. Ignoring your team's opinion, for example, will make them feel humiliated. And once they are humiliated, what happens eventually? They get frustrated. And once they get frustrated, what happened? They lose interest in your job. The vision and your mission of your organization will not be accomplished. So I want to advise, schedule private meetings with each member of your team and request their honest, objective feedback. So that is one of the strategies you can use to build quality relationship among your team. Don't just focus on socializing. Take note, I'm not against socializing, but that should not be the primary aim of the relationship. Let them feel heard. If there's need for you to schedule private meeting with each of your member team to get their feedback on how they are feeling about their work, the assigned responsibility to them, do that from time to time. Then another strategy you can adopt to build positive and quality relationship amongst your team is give constructive feedback. Your team need leaders who can help them grow professionally. So don't overlook their errors. When there's need to do that, give them constructive feedback. If you are in a team where you are not growing, the tendency is that you want to leave the team because you will see no reason why you should continue in that team or in that relationship, as the case may be. So your team member needs to grow professionally, apart from achieving the vision and the mission of your organization. So let that be at the focal point of your relationship with them. So instead of you just focusing on chit chat, ask yourself how you can help them with their careers. They can grow their career in your organization, right? So don't miss any opportunity to praise your people for a job well done. Don't think they will feel complacent. Yes, if you do that strategically, they will grow. So never you miss any opportunity to praise your people for a job well done. They need to feel appreciated. They need to feel the fact that you recognize their efforts. It boosts their morale. It motivates them to keep up the good work. However, you should also be honest why criticizing their efforts when it is necessary. And you also need to remember to be kind and reassure them that the mistake they have made can be corrected. Nobody is above mistake. Even you as a leader can make mistakes. So let them understand that fact so that they feel relaxed to make honest mistakes that will help them to grow professionally and help to improve the welfare and achieve the vision and mission of your organization. Now, what are the 7 criteria for effective feedback? 1, the feedback provider is credible in the eyes of the feedback recipient. So let it be genuine feedback. 2, the feedback provider is trusted by the feedback recipient. So if they have gained your trust over the years or over time, when you are giving them feedback or you are criticizing them strategically, they will willingly accept the feedback because in the past you have helped them to master or to gain a mastery over their weaknesses. And third, the feedback is conveyed with good intentions. So have good intention. Never you make them feel witch hunt. When you make them feel that they are being witch hunt, they will get frustrated and they will leave your organization. And fourth, the timing and circumstances of giving the feedback should be appropriate. When an assigned task is carried out, that may not be the right time to correct them. You allow them to carry out the task, and where it is necessary, you call them, like I mentioned earlier, you have a conversation with them, get feedback from them, have their feelings, their thoughts, their views on the assigned responsibility given to them. Then the fourth criteria for effective feedback is that the feedback is given in an interactive manner. Don't be the only one speaking. Don't be the only one in the room talking, and you don't allow your subordinates to hear their view. Let them be free with you. Let them be free, express themselves. And from there, you will be able to know how you can help them to grow professionally and also to achieve the aims and objectives of your organization. And then sixth, the feedback message is very clear. State clearly, if possible, you can itemize what you have noticed while observing them carrying out their assigned responsibility. So let the message be very clear. Don't be ambiguous in trying to, get feedback from your subordinate. Then the last but not the least, the feedback is helpful to the recipients. Interestingly, when they make mistakes, or let's look at it this way, when you as an individual make mistakes, 3 things are involved. 1, you learn from it. 2, you admit it, and 3, you will never repeat it again. So that is the interesting part of making mistakes. So when they make mistakes and you give them feedbacks, they will learn from it and they will not repeat the mistakes again. Then we have also looked at the 10 principle of effective feedback. I've mentioned that you need to be specific. You need to focus on observed behavior that need to be corrected. You need to keep it impersonal. Don't be too personal about feedback or the mistakes that your subordinates have made. Then link it to the goals, the objective of your organization, what the expectations are, the requirements are. Be specific in this area. Then also make it well timed. Let it be with the time bound. Ensure there is a clear understanding. Make sure that it is controllable. Make it constructive, not destructive. I repeat, make your feedback constructive, not destructive. And lastly on that, tailor it to the employee. The feedback you are giving, let it be tailored to the employee. It's very important. That is one way you can gain the heart of your subordinates. And then the third way of strategy that can be used to build quality relationship among your team is focus on career conversation. According to Ruth Lowell's career conversation methodology, he mentioned that for this to be achieved, there are 3 conversations you need to have with your team as a leader. 1, listen to their life story and find out what motivates them. So go beyond the conventional way to move closer to your subordinates, to learn more about them, not just focus on this is the assigned task given to you, this is the work given to you, you must do it. If you don't do it, that's the end. So listen to their life story. Find out what motivates them. Two, find out their goals for the future and what skill they need to develop. And third, develop a career action plan that will help them to reach their goal. So doing these three or having these three conversations with your team members, we help them learn what is important. And we also motivate them to do their possible best to have a successful career. Then the fourth way to build a quality relationship as a leader amongst your team is set and respect boundaries. Yes, of course, it is great to take an interest in your team members' dream, their expectations. I just mentioned that there's nothing wrong. But at the same time, too, it is also important, or it is even recommended, to be friendly and kind to everyone on your team. However, you need to set boundaries. It is not a good idea to have a favorite and to treat people differently. Treat them equally, and they will respect you as a leader. Now, how can you respect yourself in the workplace? One, set and enforce boundaries. I've mentioned that. Push back politely if there's need to do that. Trust yourself. Respect yourself by putting your weaknesses in context. Realize that others are more knowledgeable, more experienced than you, more exposed than you. This will help you to have a quality relationship with your team and be a part of creating a supportive culture. And the fifth one is build a culture of cooperation. Discourage competition amongst your team. In a work environment where teammates compete against one another, it is observed that people tend to treat each other as enemies and team relationships suffer. So it is your responsibility as a leader to encourage cooperation and help people to trust themselves, your team to trust themselves. Working together has major benefits for everybody involved, and it helps to bring better results for the overall mission and the vision accomplishment of your team. Then I also need to mention this, the sixth point or strategy to build quality relationship: don't micromanage. Whatever you do, I want to encourage you to avoid micromanaging your team. The point is this, from experience, nothing shock lack of trust like a micromanaging boss. So you want to give your employees freedom in your workplace. You see, the fact is this: nobody would appreciate you if you don't give your employee enough room and space to complete their task. Autonomy in the workplace increases job satisfaction, and in the long run, it helps to build quality relationships among your team. So never you assume a superior role. Don't make your team be scared of making mistakes. Don't let them feel that they cannot be trusted. Don't let them feel that you cannot let go where they need be. And don't be a leader who had as a bottleneck. Don't have as a perfectionist. Let them raise their self-esteem because they have you as a leader. All right. And then exercise self-control when relating with your team. Use your authority judiciously. Don't compromise job satisfaction. Have a better control as a manager, and this will help you to build a quality relationship. Then I also need to mention this is the seventh strategy: respect and be respectful. As the saying goes, respect is a two-way street. So you want to show everybody in your team that they matter. Don't make any differences based on their position, their gender, their religion, their ethnicity. You want to be polite and don't criticize in public. If there's need to criticize, you can have a one-on-one chit chat with them. Respect crucial strong relationship building amongst your team. This is one way you can build quality relationship and achieve more amongst your team. As you can see on the screen, you can see the cause of disrespectful workplace. There will be high turnover. From the research carried out, 20 to 50% of salary will be replaced if there is a disrespectful work environment. Company brand and reputation will be compromised. All right, workplace violence and vengeance will, will strive. And then there will be low levels of engagement and morale. From experience and from research carried out, time and money, 13% of the managers' time and money will be affected. Lost customers due to public rude behavior. It will be difficult attracting and retaining employees. So it is important that you respect your team in the workplace. And the last but not the least on this is have a learning attitude. Don't take the proverb, the boss is always right, literally. You want to keep a learning attitude. And this will help the employee feel more comfortable while giving their point of view. It will also allow the employees to realize that they are the same and that you give them a sense of oneness. From the screen, you can see the teachability index that is expected of you as a leader, including the employees. Now, let me ask you, what is your willingness to learn on a scale of 1 to 10? You can put it in the chat box. What is your willingness to learn on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay. Then what is your willingness to change on a scale of 1 to 10? Now, if you are between 5 to 10, yes, that means you have gained a mastery over your willingness to learn. If you are between 5 to 6, that means you have gained a mastery over your willingness to change. And this is expected of you as a leader. So willingness to learn, willingness to accept change will result to teachability index. So teachability keeps you at the top. It keeps you learning even from your subordinate. Commitment also separates doers from dreamers. So in a nutshell, at the end of the day, the boss-employee relationship I'm suggesting is to ensure that you build quality relationship amongst your team.
Hello, sir. Hello. Hello. I think there is network issue. We have lost connection with the step. Sir, I think there is network issue. Okay, sir. Hello, sir. Are you here, sir?
Hello, Prof.
Yeah, I think.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Continue.
Hello.
I think network issue.
Okay. So sorry. I had network glitches in my location, so I had to switch to another gadget. I just turned on my
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We understand. Thank you. Thank you for coming back.
concluding my presentation. Sorry?
Okay, continue, sir. Continue.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I was almost concluding my presentation before I had network glitches. All right, so I want to appreciate everyone for for listening to my presentation. In my presentation, I just shared 7 strategies that can be adopted to build a quality relationship as a leader. Now, you will recall that in my presentation, I mentioned that when dealing with people, it is important that you always remember that you are dealing with curator of logic, right? You are dealing with individuals that have emotions. So at such, it is important that you consider this when you are relating with your team. Put their concerns, put their thoughts, put their emotions, put their feelings, in short, in context, when you are relating with them. Building a fruitful or quality relationship and a lasting relationship as it be, it is important that you yank off from your list, from this conventional me. You know what I mean? That is based on the fact that you are always the only one in the room. You don't give room to others to express themselves, share their thoughts, share their views on happenings in the organizations. I believe that the Alpha and the Omega, so to speak, you lose your subordinates. You will lose the frustrated, even if they still continue to work with you in your organization. So it becomes very important that you have this thought of we. When success is accomplished, attribute it to your team. Let them have a sense of belonging, that this was achieved together. As the acronym for a team means, together, everyone wants more. It is not a one-man show. Even though you are the one taking the lead, you are the one giving instructions, you are the one giving advices, you are the one leading them. You should appreciate the efforts of your team. And once they are appreciated, they will create what I call an ownership mindset. They will want to work with you. They will want to do everything within their means to ensure that the vision and the mission of the organization is accomplished. So when we are not curious in our conversation with others or in your conversation as a leader, you judge your subordinate blindly, you tell, you blame, and you even shame them, which often in most cases, knowingly to you, it can lead to conflict. So if you want to go fast, as the saying go alone. If you want to go far, you do what? You go together. That is an African proverb. So you want to work with your team, and doing this will help to accomplish the vision and the mission of your organization. So it is obvious that building quality relationship requires time. It requires effort on your home part, and this calls for you being conscious, being self-aware of your team's efforts in building a quality relationship. John C. Maxwell says, and I quote him, integrity is important in building relationships. So you must be a person of integrity. So, and in the foundation upon which many other relationships are built, it is important that you respect, you dignify, and you also trust your team. These are some ingredients that are important in building quality relationship. You will agree with me that a relationship is like building a house. If it is well built, what happens? If the foundation is well laid, it will last longer. Is that not so? If the foundation is not well laid, what happens to the building? The building collapses. So the importance of building the foundation of a relationship by trusting, dignifying, and also respecting members of your team cannot be overemphasized. So on this note, let me gradually draw the curtains of my presentations. Once again, I want to appreciate Professor Ruben Gracia Ambassador Sunanta, I want to appreciate you for the insights you have shared. And also I want to appreciate everyone all over the world, from India, from Pakistan, from Nigeria, from every continent of the world, for giving their time to be part of this masterclass for this month. And I also want to appreciate my mentor, who is also a friend, sort of, Professor Elizabeth Lucas Afolalu, for coming up with this laudable project. It's indeed a success, as we have seen, from Monday down to this moment. I've listened to all the speakers, made their presentations on how to build quality relationship. Once again, thank you, everyone. And I say goodbye. My name is Professor Adeogun from Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, sir.
Professor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You really round up the 5 days building and managing relationship well with your powerful, informative, and inspiring words that you have shared with us. I always know you to be a great leader aspiring high. And I also appreciate the fact that you are very busy, but you still create time for us to come and share with us on this platform. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Adeogun. I know that sometimes the connection, sometimes they always give us a show, but you never let it put you down or discourage you. Because whether we like it or not, we have to rise above every other challenges that want to show up whenever we are doing presentation or we are doing something great in the world. So I want to say thank you so much for your willingness and for your super sharing with us today, your knowledge, your wisdom, and your experience. I want to also seize this opportunity to thank all our